I never expected a single night to turn my life upside down. My name is Ryan, and by day, I'm just a college student juggling classes, part-time work at a local cafe, and the usual chaos of dorm life. But beneath the casual hoodies and messy hair, there's a side of me I rarely share, a side that finds comfort and thrill in crossdressing. It's not something I do for attention. It's a secret I keep for myself, a private escape into a persona that feels softer, freer, and more confident than my usual self. I first discovered this fascination in high school, experimenting in my room when I was sure no one could see. There's a strange power in it. The feeling of silk or lace against your skin, the subtle transformation a bit of makeup can bring, the swish of a skirt with every step. It's both exhilarating and terrifying because it's mine alone, a delicate secret that I guard fiercely. That secret life was manageable, carefully hidden behind a routine of classes, work, and weekends spent with friends. Until my brother, Jake, announced he was throwing a massive house party for his college friends while our parents were out of town. The idea should have excited me. Parties are social and chaotic, perfect for losing yourself for a few hours, but this one brought a knot of anxiety straight to my stomach. Jake's parties are legendary. Loud music, crowded rooms, and enough chaos to guarantee someone always notices something unexpected. And that's when the idea struck me, dangerous as it was. What if I showed up differently? What if I stepped into the party not as Ryan, the guy everyone thinks they know, but as someone completely else? Emma, my girlfriend of a year, had no idea about this side of me. Our relationship was built on trust and laughter, but I had never dared to tell her about my crossdressing. She's vivacious, perceptive, and endlessly curious, the kind of person who notices small changes in tone, posture, or expression. I loved her for it, but that very quality made the thought of her discovering my secret terrifying. Would she be shocked? Confused? Angry? Or would she accept me, all sides of me? I spent the week leading up to the party in a strange limbo, torn between excitement and dread. Every night, I would sit on my bed, carefully selecting outfits from the small collection I'd kept hidden in my closet. Silk blouses, skirts that swished perfectly when I moved, delicate accessories, and a few pairs of heels that made my legs feel longer, my posture sharper. Each piece was a key to transformation, and I handled them with a reverence usually reserved for sacred objects. The night of the party, my dorm room was a sanctuary of anticipation. I spread the outfits across my bed, analyzing each detail, the texture, the color, how it would reflect the lights at Jake's party. I had practiced makeup routines in secret countless times: foundation, subtle eyeshadow, mascara, a hint of blush and lipstick. But tonight felt different. Tonight, the stakes were higher. Tonight, this wasn't just for me. It was for a world full of eyes, some of them familiar, all of them unknowingly ready to judge. I started with the basics, a smooth foundation that even my skin tone, followed by eyeliner and mascara that made my eyes feel larger, more expressive. My hands trembled slightly as I applied a soft blush, then a pale pink lipstick. Every stroke changed me subtly, but powerfully. When I looked in the mirror, I hardly recognized the reflection. The face staring back wasn't just me. It was a more daring, confident version of myself, someone ready to step into the unknown. Next came the outfit. I chose a knee-length skirt in deep burgundy and a matching blouse with delicate lace along the sleeves. The fabric clung to my body in ways that felt foreign but thrilling, soft against my skin, swaying slightly as I moved. I added a pair of black heels, a small necklace, and brushed my hair until it fell smoothly around my shoulders. Each detail mattered, each choice shaping the persona I was about to reveal to the world. As I finished the transformation, I caught a glimpse of myself in the full-length mirror. My reflection was mesmerizing. Confidence surged through me, mixed with the familiar flutter of fear. Fear of discovery, of rejection, of making a mistake in front of so many people. But more than fear, there was excitement, a spark I hadn't felt in months. Tonight, I wouldn't just be Ryan. I would be someone new, someone daring, someone alive. And then there was Emma. I had promised her I'd meet her before the party, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. Not yet. I wanted to see if I could navigate this night, this experiment in transformation, without ruining the life I had built, without losing the trust of the person I loved most. The city lights twinkled outside my dorm window, reflecting off my carefully applied makeup, the soft folds of my skirt, the shine of my heels. My heartbeat quickened. Everything was in place. Everything was ready. And I knew, deep down, that once I stepped out that door, nothing would ever be the same. The walk to Jake's apartment felt endless. My heels clicked against the pavement with every step, each sound amplified in the quiet night. The cool air brushed against my exposed legs, sending shivers through me. I clutched my small purse tightly, the strap cutting into my shoulder, a subtle reminder that I was venturing far beyond my comfort zone. Every street lamp seemed to spotlight my every move. Passers-by glanced at me, some briefly, some longer, and each gaze sent a jolt of adrenaline racing through my veins. I had rehearsed my walk, my posture, my voice in front of the mirror countless times, but nothing could prepare me for the real world, where judgment was tangible, immediate. Jake's apartment loomed ahead, lights flickering, music thumping, a chaotic symphony of laughter and bass. I hesitated at the threshold, my reflection in the glass door catching my eye. The person staring back was someone I barely recognized, soft features accentuated by makeup, hair flowing perfectly, the skirt swishing just right. The thrill and terror mingled in my chest, a cocktail of fear, anticipation, and excitement. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The atmosphere hit me instantly. People were dancing, drinking, laughing, and the scent of perfume and cologne mingled with snacks and spilled drinks. I felt exposed, hyper-aware of every movement, every glance. My heart pounded. Every step I took made me more conscious of the skirt, the heels, the persona I had carefully crafted. I found a corner near the couch, hoping to observe before fully immersing myself. A few of Jake's friends glanced my way, some smiling politely, others raising an eyebrow, but no one said anything. Relief mixed with pride. I had made it this far without anyone recognizing me, or at least questioning my appearance. Then, laughter drew my attention to the center of the room. Jake had spotted me. Ryan. Or should I say, wow. His eyes widened in mock surprise, a grin spreading across his face. He approached, clapping me lightly on the shoulder. My stomach twisted. Had he recognized me? Surprise, I said, voice slightly higher than normal, hoping it sounded casual. He laughed, obviously intrigued. You looked amazing. Totally different from what I expected. The compliment sent a rush of relief and thrill through me. Jake didn't know, not really, but his excitement was contagious. People were beginning to take notice, subtle glances and whispered comments floating through the room. Each one heightened my anxiety and exhilaration simultaneously. I moved toward the snack table, trying to blend in, balancing the act of being both observed and invisible. My heart hammered every time someone looked my way. The dress clung to my body, the heels pinching slightly, but I felt alive. This was more than just clothing. It was freedom, a temporary escape into a version of myself I rarely let anyone see. A sudden brush of hands startled me. I turned to see Emma, her eyes widening in surprise. My stomach nodded. She had come to the party early, and I hadn't expected to see her so soon. Ryan, she said, voice curious, slightly cautious. Is that you? I forced a smile, my hands tightening slightly around my purse. Yeah, just trying something new tonight, I replied, hoping the explanation sounded casual, unconvincing as it may have been. Emma studied me for a moment, her expression unreadable. Then she smiled softly. You look really good. Her words sent warmth through me, but they were also a reminder of the stakes. She didn't know the full truth, and I had to be careful. As the night progressed, I moved through the crowd, balancing conversations, avoiding suspicion, and reveling in the thrill of my secret identity. The dress swayed with every step, The heels forced me to hold my posture carefully, and the makeup highlighted features I rarely saw in myself. Every glance, every comment from strangers, was a test of my composure. Could I maintain this persona without faltering? Then came the first close call. A group of Jake's friends, all familiar faces from school, drifted near me. One of them, Mark, leaned in slightly, squinting. "Hey, Ryan? Is that really you?" Panic surged. My pulse raced. "Yeah, it's me," I said quickly, trying to sound natural, my voice trembling slightly. The group laughed, some teasing, some complimenting, but none seemed to suspect the full truth. Relief washed over me, but my hands shook subtly, a reminder that the danger was real. The thrill of almost being discovered made my heart race faster. I found a quiet corner and took a deep breath, letting my fingers brush against the fabric of my skirt, feeling the soft silk and lace against my skin. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the sensation anchor me, remind me why I had chosen this path tonight. As the evening wore on, the music grew louder, the crowd denser, and the stakes higher. I found myself chatting with Emma, laughing nervously, my voice carefully modulated, movements graceful. Every word, every gesture was a performance, and the fear of slipping up was constant. Yet, the thrill of embodying this version of myself was undeniable. At one point, I excused myself to the bathroom, seeking privacy to adjust my makeup and check my hair. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, barely recognizing the face looking back. The eyes were the same, but everything else, the softness of the cheeks, the curve of the lips, the careful styling of the hair, was a transformation. I felt powerful and vulnerable simultaneously, a strange cocktail of emotions that left me dizzy. I practiced small movements, adjusting the skirt, testing my walk, shifting my posture. The reflection in the mirror seemed alive, almost daring me to step further, to take the next risk. And that risk came sooner than I expected. A sudden knock on the bathroom door startled me. My heart leapt. "Ryan? You okay?" Emma's voice called softly. I froze, unsure of how to respond. Yeah, just fixing my makeup," I replied, hoping it sounded casual. She didn't press, but the moment left my pulse racing. The danger of discovery wasn't just theoretical, it was real, immediate, and it was thrilling. Back in the main room, the party surged around me. The music, the chatter, the laughter, it all heightened the tension. I moved carefully, avoiding spills, stumbles, and unwanted attention. Every step in my heels was a calculated risk, every glance a test of my ability to maintain composure. Then, Jake appeared beside me, grinning mischievously. "Hey, you're a hit tonight. Everyone's talking about how amazing you look. You sure you're not hiding something?" I swallowed hard, forcing a laugh. "Just enjoying the party," I said, voice steady, but my hands trembling slightly. The thrill of being nearly discovered, coupled with the excitement of attention, was intoxicating. By midnight, I was fully immersed. Conversations, laughter, and dancing blurred together, a whirlwind of emotion. The dress clung to me, heels digging slightly into my feet, but I didn't care. I felt alive in a way I never had before. Yet, beneath the thrill, a flicker of fear remained. One wrong move, one glance too long, and my secret could unravel completely. As I stepped outside to catch a breath of cool night air, my reflection in the glass door caught my eye. The person staring back, myself, transformed, radiant, exposed, made my heart pound. This night, this party, this experiment in identity, had taken me further than I had ever gone. And I knew, deep down, that nothing would ever be the same. The danger, the thrill, the transformation, it was only the beginning. The party had reached its peak chaos by the time I realized just how close I was to being exposed. The music pulsed through the apartment, bass vibrating in my chest, every sound amplified by the pounding of my own heartbeat. I navigated through the crowd, heels clicking on the hardwood, skirt swishing with each careful step. Every glance from a guest, every casual comment, was a potential threat. Then it happened, A voice called out across the room, loud and teasing. "Hey, Ryan, or should I say wow?" My stomach twisted. It was Mark again, the same friend who had nearly discovered me earlier. He grinned, clearly having noticed the change in my appearance, but unaware of the full truth. "You look incredible. Are you for real?" Panic surged through me, a surge of adrenaline making my legs weak. I smiled nervously, my voice higher than usual. "Yeah, just trying something new tonight," I said, praying it sounded casual. Mark's friends hovered nearby, eyes darting between us, curiosity evident. One wrong word, one slip of composure, and everything would unravel. I excused myself, moving toward a quieter corner, only to find Jake standing there, eyes sharp and knowing, a mischievous smirk on his face. "You're stealing the spotlight tonight, Ryan," he said, leaning closer. "Everyone's talking. Care to tell me what's really going on?" My mind raced. I could see the possibility of exposure looming like a storm cloud, threatening to break over me at any moment. My secret, the persona I had crafted, the thrill I had nurtured, was on the edge of being revealed. "Just enjoying the party," I muttered, forcing a laugh, my fingers trembling slightly as they brushed against the lace of my skirt. But the universe, it seemed, had other plans. Suddenly, someone bumped into me from behind, nearly toppling me. I caught myself on the edge of the bar, my heels slipping slightly, the dress shifting in a way that left me exposed. A gasp escaped me, sharp and panicked. Emma's eyes widened as she noticed the stumble, and I felt my cheeks burn with heat. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. My heart leapt, not just from embarrassment but from the intimate attention. Her gaze lingered longer than necessary, curious, searching, but not accusing. I nodded quickly, brushing imaginary dust from my skirt. "Yeah, I'm fine," I said, voice trembling slightly. The thrill of nearly being discovered collided with the rush of being admired, creating a swirl of emotions I could barely contain. As I regained my balance, the crowd shifted, and I realized I wasn't alone in being observed. Several people were now whispering, exchanging glances, subtly intrigued by my appearance. The risk of exposure was real, immediate, and intoxicating. Every heartbeat was a countdown, every breath a delicate balancing act between confidence and fear. Then came the twist. Jake's college friend, Sarah, approached, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. "You're amazing," she said, voice low, leaning in conspiratorially. "But I feel like there's more to this. Are you pretending?" I froze. Her words struck at the core of my double life. My mind scrambled for an explanation, any excuse that would keep the secret intact. Just experimenting," I muttered, hoping it sounded casual. She raised an eyebrow, skeptical but intrigued, then smiled, leaving the question hanging like a knife over my head. The physical tension was unbearable. My heels pinched, my legs ached from balancing constantly, and the skirt clung to me in ways that made me hyper-aware of every movement. The transformation, which had once felt thrilling and empowering, now felt dangerously fragile. One wrong step, one slip of the skirt, and my secret persona could be dismantled in seconds. As I tried to regain composure, I felt a brush of hands on my arm. Emma. She had followed me, curiosity overpowering caution. "Ryan, are you okay?" she whispered, her eyes scanning me intently. The closeness, the warmth, and the genuine concern in her gaze made my heart ache. I wanted to tell her everything, to reveal the secret I had kept hidden for so long. But fear rooted me to the spot. A sudden loud crash from the other side of the room drew everyone's attention. A tray of drinks had toppled, sending glasses shattering across the floor. Chaos erupted as guests rushed to help, music blaring, laughter, and shouting filling the space. In that split second, I realized an even greater danger. In the confusion, someone could notice the small details of my transformation, the subtle makeup, the heels, the way my skirt shifted with movement. I backed toward the hallway, trying to stay unnoticed, heels clacking lightly, skirt swaying. Emma followed, concern etched on her face. Ryan, talk to me, she urged. Her voice, soft but insistent, made the adrenaline surge even higher. Then, disaster struck. My heel caught the edge of the rug. I stumbled forward, arms flailing, and the skirt slipped slightly at the hip, revealing more than I intended. Gasps echoed around me. Emma caught me instinctively, her hands steadying me, and a hush fell over the immediate vicinity. Jake's eyes widened. "Whoa." "Ryan," he said, voice trailing off. Confusion, surprise, and curiosity mixed in his expression. Sarah, standing nearby, smirked knowingly, clearly piecing together the puzzle. I stood there, frozen, heart hammering, skirt clinging precariously, makeup slightly smudged from the stumble. Emma's eyes searched mine, her grip on my arm tightening slightly. "Ryan, what's happening?" she whispered. I swallowed hard. The thrill, the fear, the exhilaration, all of it collided into a single, overwhelming moment. I could feel my double life teetering on the edge, seconds away from being exposed to everyone. Every detail, the heels, the makeup, the silk of the skirt, was visible, tangible, undeniable. I wanted to run, to hide, to disappear into the shadows, but part of me wanted to stay, to embrace this exposure, to reveal the side of myself I had kept secret for so long. The tension was suffocating. The crowd around me buzzed with curiosity, unaware of the full truth, but sensing the drama, the excitement, the shift in reality. And then, as if the universe wanted to push me further, Jake leaned in, voice low and teasing. "You've got everyone talking tonight. Care to explain, or should we all just guess?" My breath caught. Emma's gaze held mine, searching, questioning. Sarah smiled knowingly. Mark looked intrigued, and the room seemed to shrink around me, every heartbeat amplified. The skirt slipped slightly again as I adjusted, a small but significant reveal that made my pulse race. In that instant, I realized the truth. The magic of this transformation wasn't just in the clothes, the makeup, or the persona. It was in the tension, the risk, the exposure. Every glance, every word, every stumble amplified the thrill and fear. I was living on the edge of discovery, and it was intoxicating. But there was no turning back. Once I embraced this persona in front of the world, even for a night, everything changed. My secret life, my identity, the thrill of crossdressing, it was all out in the open, at least partially, and the consequences were unpredictable. Emma's hand squeezed mine, grounding me in the whirlwind of attention and fear. I met her gaze, the unspoken understanding passing between us. This night, this party, this transformation, it was only the beginning. And as I stood there, heart hammering, heels digging into the floor, skirt swaying precariously, I knew one thing with certainty. My life would never be the same again. The room felt impossibly small. Every glance felt heavier, every whisper sharper. My heart thumped so loudly, I was sure everyone could hear it. I clutched my purse tightly, knuckles white, skirt swaying slightly with my trembling movements. Emma's eyes were locked on mine, searching, full of questions I wasn't ready to answer. Jake's grin had faded into a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. Mark and Sarah lingered nearby, their expressions a blend of intrigue and suspicion. I could feel every eye in the room on me, sensing the change, sensing the secret I had tried so desperately to protect. My heels pinched sharply, but I didn't dare move too quickly. One wrong step, one slip of composure, and everything could unravel. "Ryan, what's going on?" Emma's voice was soft but firm, carrying the weight of someone who wanted the truth, but wasn't sure if she could handle it. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Fear, excitement, embarrassment, it was a tangle too complex to unravel in a single sentence. I glanced around, realizing just how exposed I was. The playful thrill of earlier had transformed into something much more intense. Raw, electrifying vulnerability. My double life, once safely confined to my private world, now teetered on the edge of being exposed to everyone I cared about, and strangers I barely knew. Jake's voice broke through my panic. "You've got everyone talking tonight. Seriously, Ryan, or whoever you are right now, explain yourself. He smiled, but there was a sharp edge of challenge in his tone. Everyone was waiting. Even Emma's hand, still resting lightly on mine, felt like a tether to reality, reminding me that this moment could define everything. I felt a rush of heat, embarrassment prickling at my skin. The skirt, the heels, the makeup, all of it made me feel fragile, hyper-aware of every movement. The thrill I had felt walking into the party alone had become a knife edge of tension. Every heartbeat echoed in my ears. Every glance felt like an accusation. Then the unexpected happened. A neighbor, someone I had never met but who apparently had been invited by Jake, wandered into the room. Her eyes widened as they swept over me, lingering longer than polite curiosity should allow. "Wow, you look different," she said, a playful smirk tugging at her lips. "Ryan? Is that really you?" The room seemed to pause. Music, laughter, chatter, all faded into a tense silence. I froze in place, the heels digging painfully into my feet, skirts swaying slightly as I tried to regain composure. Emma's grip tightened on my arm. Jake leaned forward, eyes sharp. Even Sarah and Mark were fully attentive, whispers halted by the sudden tension. I could feel my pulse hammering in my temples, every muscle in my body taut with fear. The secret I had guarded so carefully, my hidden desire, my carefully curated persona, was on the verge of being revealed. And I wasn't sure if I wanted it to stay hidden anymore. Emma's eyes searched mine, full of expectation and worry. "Ryan, tell me what's going on," she urged. Her voice was steady, but I could feel the intensity behind it. I wanted to speak, to explain, to let her in on this side of me that I had never shared. But the words lodged in my throat, too heavy, too raw. The neighbor took a step closer, curiosity sharpening. "You're incredible. I've never seen you like this," she said. The attention was intoxicating, dangerous, and utterly thrilling. My heartbeat raced faster than ever. Could I keep standing here, heels digging into the floor, skirt swaying, persona exposed to everyone around me, without crumbling? I swallowed hard, my mind spinning. Should I confess everything? Should I run? Should I hide? Each option carried consequences, none of them simple. The room's energy pressed in from all sides. Emma's expectant gaze, Jake's amused but questioning look, Mark and Sarah's curiosity, the neighbor's playful intrigue. Every eye seemed to weigh me, measure me, test me. And then a sudden knock at the door. Hard, insistent. My stomach dropped. I could feel my knees weaken, my body tense in instinctive panic. Whoever it was, another guest. The police? Someone from the building. The timing couldn't have been worse. Emma's eyes widened, searching mine. "Ryan, who is it?" she whispered, her voice trembling with concern. I shook my head slightly, unable to speak. The thrill of transformation, the exhilaration of stepping fully into this version of myself, collided violently with fear of exposure. Every instinct screamed to hide, to run, to undo the dress, the heels, the makeup. But something inside me, the part that had chosen this path, embraced this persona, held me rooted in place. The door handle rattled. Another knock. Louder. More urgent. Gasps echoed around the room as the crowd turned toward the sound, tension spiking to unbearable levels. My skirt shifted, heels wobbling slightly, heart racing beyond control. The secret I had guarded so carefully was now teetering on the edge of revelation, and I had no idea what would happen next. Emma's hand tightened on mine again, grounding me in the chaos. Her gaze was unwavering, full of expectation, worry, and something else. Curiosity. The room waited, breathless. And in that frozen moment, I realized that my life, my secret, my transformation, all of it, had reached a turning point. One wrong move, one word, one glance, and everything could change forever. And then silence. The tension was electric, thick, suffocating. The neighbor's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Jake's grin had vanished, Mark and Sarah exchanged uncertain glances, and Emma's grip on my arm was both a lifeline and a reminder of what was at stake. I took a shaky breath, feeling the silk of my skirt against my legs, the heels pinching, makeup slightly smudged from the earlier stumble. The room waited, the knocks continued. Each one a countdown, each one a challenge. And in that moment, I knew the night wasn't over. The secret I had carried for so long, the thrill of transformation, the fear of exposure, they were all colliding in a single, electrifying instant. Would I be discovered? Would Emma accept me? Would my secret persona survive the night? Or would it crumble under the weight of curiosity, suspicion, and fate? No one knew. Not yet. And that was the point.